Uh, First and foremost, I want to thank Rennie for um, choosing me to be a part of this amazing class of coaches and players and refs and just people that love the game of basketball. Once I saw the list of people, I just knew I should have been in this class because I knew so many of them that have been a part of my life, and that helped me with the things that I'm doing right now. Uh, when I asked what should I talk about, he said, "Talk about your love for the game of basketball." And I thought that was an easy thing to do, but in reality, it's really not when you think about it. I'm an inner city kid. I grew up in Kingston, New York, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I grew up with going outside in my neighborhood and seeing drugs and violence and just nothing that was good. And I never really thought that, I thought everybody lived like that. I didn't think that there was anything different than what I grew up at and I saw every single day. And I just wanted to stay active. I was a very active kid. And I never knew what I needed to do in order to stay off the streets. Because in reality, me staying active kept me off the streets. And I ended up going to the Boys and Girls Club. I have to say this because not too many people know about the Boys and Girls Club. And if they do, the Boys and Girls Club is not in everybody's community. Yes, we have the YMCA, we do, but we don't all have the Boys and Girls Club. And the Boys and Girls Club pretty much changed my life. It cost $10 for a whole year to go to the Boys and Girls Club at that time. And I didn't even have that. And they said, come on in. We'll welcome you in and you'll be part of the family. I went into the Boys and Girls Club and saw kids that came from the same neighborhood as me. And I felt like this was my home. We all were trying to stay off the streets, and they taught me how to cook, which I still don't know how to do. They taught me kickball, baseball, football, and my favorite, basketball. A game that I loved to watch with my father because he watched John Starks play. He was just a Knick fan. And I would sit on my dad's lap and enjoy it because that was my connection with him. But I never played it until I went to the Boys and Girls Club. And when I went there, for some reason, I had this orange basketball and I started treating it differently. I slept with that basketball. I dribbled that basketball. I went to school with that basketball. There was something about it that I loved. I remember one day going to school and my teacher said, "You don't have your homework, but I bet you got that basketball." And I did. And they knew me for having that basketball everywhere that I went. And I fell in love with the basketball. And it wasn't just any basketball. On that basketball said, The Rock. For some people, it might say Spalding. Every basketball has a name, but the Rock basketball was the one that I fell in love with. I loved hearing it bounce. It was like music to my ears. It taught me how to dance because when you're dribbling a basketball, it's about rhythm, right? You can tell when you see a good basketball player because the way they dribble it, it just makes you smile. And there's a rhythm to it that if it has a rhythm that you don't really hear it, just like music, you say, he's not a basketball player. But I loved it. And I dribbled outside, and I remember even the neighbor calling the cops on me. And my sister would tell me, will tell you all, they called me and they came out and they said, Tay, you know that she's going to call me. And I just said, I'm just playing basketball and dribbling. And he said to me, one day you'll come back to her and you'll thank her because you want to know why? Because you're going to be great one day. And he let me continue dribbling that basketball. That's how important it meant to me. But most importantly, seeing that ball go through that hoop, woo, I loved it. And you know what? Basketball, I started to realize how much I do love it because of the things that it brought to me. The gym became my safe place. I grew up in the streets where, I'm going to be honest, the gym was probably safer than me being at home because I knew what was between those lines. I knew the three-point line. I knew where it was at with closing my eyes. I knew the free throws. I knew where half court was. At home, I didn't know what the lines were because I didn't know what was going to happen. So I want to thank someone, Mark Weinkoop, who is my coach, my mentor. He came to the Boys and Girls Club. I never played CYO. I never played Biddy League. I never played freshman. I never played modified. I didn't play any basketball until I was 8th grade and played on the JV team when Mark Weinkoop came to the Boys and Girls Club and said, "Is Tay Fisher here?" He said, "He's right in the gym." Mark Weinkoop said, "Come with me. You're going to come try out for my team." I didn't have sneakers. I had boots. I had jeans. I went to his tryout. I was the best player on that team. I don't need him to say it. I knew it because when I was there, I was doing things that I didn't know I was able to do. And it's always good when you have people like him. They can see the greatness in us that we don't really see in ourselves. So thank you, Mark, for being able to do that, because I think that since then we struck up a friendship and a bond that nobody can take from us. I played JV. I played varsity as a 9th grader. Just to fast forward a little bit, I had a great high school career. I scored 2,119 points in my career. New York State 3-point record, 61 points scored in the game. We only won by 9 points, so that 61 points was needed. Sometimes when people score 61 points, they also won by 61 points. But it felt good to know that I was able to do that. And that ball that probably cost $10, maybe, ended up giving me a full athletic scholarship to Siena College. And that's the value of a basketball that many people don't understand on why I cherished it so much. When I graduated from high school, I was one of the first to graduate from high school. As hearing King's speech, my mom didn't graduate from high school because she was pregnant with my sister, which, again, a lot of things I didn't know until later on in my life. My dad didn't walk across the stage in high school because it was the same day he had to bury his dad. So when I walked in high school, I realized how happy they were and how important your education is. So when I went on and got a Division I scholarship, I did absolutely amazing. I loved it. It taught me how to be a man. I didn't know how to type. To be honest, basketball, I knew I was good enough. But up here, I didn't know if that was what I was ready for. And I became the second all-time 3-point scorer at Siena. I had the best birthday party ever. If many people remember, on my 22nd birthday, more than 10,000 people was at the game. We won the MAC championship. 22nd birthday, scored 21 points in 22 minutes. I could have made that free throw to have 22 minutes, 22nd birthday, 22 points. But I had everybody there cheering happy birthday to me. And I just got very emotional. I missed that free throw. But it's something that I'm always going to remember because Coach B, he was a part of that team. He helped me with all of the things that I was able to do. My sister was also there as well in every single moment. So thank you for that. Why I love basketball. I'm going to tell you why. It introduced me to my beautiful wife. The more shots I made, the cuter I got. If there isn't much motivation, I don't know what I should do. Every time I made that shot, I said I'm one step closer to being with her. And now I think about it, we were friends and we were dating, but she didn't give me the opportunity until I won that championship. So we all have our motivation. She was my motivation. I love her so much. I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for her. So thank you for that, Yasmin. 10 glorious years with the world famous Harlem Globetrotters. Come on now. Just hearing the world famous Harlem Globetrotters. It brings a smile to your face. My mentor was Curly Neal. The best ever. That was my mentor. Like, we would go on the road together and he would teach me, Tay, this is the history of the Globetrotters. You guys are staying at these fancy hotels, Tay. You know what we had to do? We had to knock on people's door and ask them if we can stay in their house so we can continue to be on the road. These are the things that we have to understand the power of the things that we're a part of. And I'm a part of history. When we think of Barack Obama, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, when we think of all of these amazing African-American influencers, we have to think of the Harlem Globetrotters and what they have done, not only to the game of basketball, but for us in general. And I'm a part of that. I didn't do 10 minutes of the Globetrotters. I did 10 days. Trust me, I've seen that happen. I did 10 years of it. I've been to all 50 states, 75 countries. That kid who was scared to leave his house, whose mom had to watch him go down the street, been to 75 countries. I haven't even sat back and really thought about it yet because my life is still going crazy. But when I'm up here thinking about it, I'm so blessed. Because I'm in Italy eating the food saying, wow, this is an Olive Garden. Right? You know, the things that you're able to do, but you know, it's just amazing on the things that I'm able to bring. Because that orange basketball, I fell in love with it, but now I fell in love with the red, white, and blue basketball. I spin that ball on my finger, it brings a smile to people's faces. I don't have to say a word. It's a power. It's almost like you're Superman, and I'm able to do that. And when I went on the Harlem Globetrotters, I left for 1 year, said hi to my mom, said bye to my mom, my dad, went on the road, came back. My mom lost one of her legs. So she didn't come to my Siena graduation because she was having leg problems. I went back on the road, I came back, my mom lost her other leg. So now my mom doesn't have her legs. And for someone like me, I'm able to appreciate certain things. And being around her when she's saying, I'm not beautiful anymore. I feel like people are looking at me. I feel like people's laughing at me. I said to her, I got you. I'm going to be your legs. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make you proud. And that's exactly what I was able to do. Because what people don't understand is while I was on the Globetrotters for 10 years, I was still also getting my master's degree at the College of St. Rose. I'm going to be the first in my family to get that education. Graduate from high school, graduate from Siena College. I'm going to keep it going. Now I went to the College of St. Rose. And when I graduated from the College of St. Rose, they said to me, Tay, we would like for you to walk. I said, the only way I'm going to walk across that stage is if my mom sits front row. That's the only way. They said, we'll make that happen. So when I walk across that stage, my mom couldn't be at that Siena graduation, but she was there for that College of St. Rose graduation. And I made sure of that because I want them to be able to see me go on that path to greatness. I'm in Australia working on my schoolwork. That's a 10-hour, 12-hour difference just to make sure that I can make my mom proud. These are the things that we all have to understand, that this is bigger than the game of basketball. Because now the connection, what I'm going to tell you right now, is I have a beautiful son. He's 4 years old. His name is Durand. And my connection with him was through that game of basketball. Obviously, when I saw him, we connected. But now, we were just having a tough day yesterday, and I looked through his bag, and he had a picture of me and him. And underneath it said, I make my dad happy when I make basketball shots. And I was like, wow, like, you don't understand how important it is with your kids and how important that ball is. Now we have a connection that I'm able to say that is important. My son was also diagnosed with epilepsy. So for us growing up, he had his first seizure at 16 months years old. So I was able to call certain people that's at my table right now and ask them, what should I do when my son has epilepsy? Because they also have a family member with epilepsy as well. The power of this game is so important. And I'm able to connect with kids all around the world. This year, my basketball programs, this would be my 20th year doing my basketball programs in the community. 20 years. I started at the age of 18 because I knew I was going to be a role model. People ask me, what was your first job? I said, my first job was being a role model. My first job was being that person. Because when you're a role model, you don't sign up for it. The community gives it to you. And you have to embrace that. So when they gave it to me, I was ready to take it because basketball, it taught me love. It taught me trust. Trust in my teammates, trust in myself. Loyalty and commitment. I could have left Siena when my coach left, but Coach B and Coach Fran McCaffrey came in and I was the only one who stayed. It taught me to value my education. I couldn't have played on that basketball court if I did not do the schoolwork. It taught me that my heart was bigger than my height. People don't understand that. You can't teach height. But my heart, I went on that court and I always felt like I was 6'5", because I always knew I had the biggest heart. It taught me how to take care of my body. Come on, we know how important that is. I take care of my body still to this day. And when I left the Globetrotters, I left not off of injuries, because I wanted to leave. People don't understand how important it is for you to leave something on your own terms. And I left saying, my time is now. And they said, what? What do you mean? I said, I'm about to have a son. My time is now. I'm going to be there for my son. So it is time for me to close this chapter, because I did everything that I wanted to do. There's nothing that I exceeded my expectations coming from Kingston, New York. So I was happy to say that. And it also taught me to talk to myself where people think I'm crazy. I'm on that court talking to myself, because you want to know why? I'm having my own conference with my own self. I'm telling myself what to do. Take this, do this. As a coach, that's what we teach our kids. We want to teach our kids to coach themselves, because you want to know why? One day we won't be there coaching. You have to coach yourself. So I'm thinking of all the things that my coaches taught me, and now I'm teaching it to these kids. And it also taught me how to accomplish my goals. I just completed a children's book for kids, teaching them about diversity and how basketball brought a family together. I just opened up my own gym. I have my own gym in Troy now, where I'm giving these kids a place that they can go to as their escape for them to be able to play the game of basketball. And I also run anti-bullying programs going all around the world to teach them how to respect each other and how to keep bullying away from you and out of school. So with everything put together and all of these results, I became a great player, a great role model, a great teacher, a great husband, and a great father. And most importantly, I became a great New York State inductee. Thank you guys for having me, and I hope that everybody has a great night.